Okay, this is lesson 6. Your papers might have had the homework first, so make sure you get to the right page. This is using algebra to solve word problems. So some of these problems are ones that you might have done when you were younger, where you did guess and check or made T-charts. But if we use algebra equations, it makes it so much easier. So the first thing is you got to find the variable. Like, you got to know what you're trying to find and make sure you know what the variable stands for. So the larger of two numbers is 4 more than the smaller number. Find the numbers. So we're trying to figure out, and I'm going to use x is the smaller one. And so if you read the numbers again, what's going to equal the larger one? The larger of two numbers is 4 more than the smaller. So we would represent that by doing x plus 4. Okay, and that's really important to write down. Otherwise, you just kind of get confused at what you're writing. So the sum of the numbers is 74. Sum means to add. And so you're going to put the two numbers. You're going to have the smaller one plus the larger one. And remember, this represents the larger one, so you have to have both those x's there. And then you go ahead and solve the equation like normal. So you have 2x, and then I'm going to minus 4 for saving space right away. And then we're going to divide by 2. So the smaller number is x, so the smaller one is 35. And then we plug 35 into here, and we have 39. Whoops, not 29, 39. And if you add those up, it should equal 74. Okay? And again, if you want to pause it and try one on your own. Number 2, the larger of two numbers is 7 less than the smaller. So again, I'm going to do x is the smaller. The larger is 7 less than 3 times the smaller. So 3 times the smaller and then 7 less than. And that is the larger. So the sum is 61. And so we're going to add them. We're going to go smaller plus the larger. And then you just put everything together like you would a normal equation. So we have 4x, and I'm going to go ahead and add the 7 right away. And then we're going to divide by 4. So we have 17. So the smaller is 17. And then we're going to do 17 times 3. We're going to plug it in here. And that's 51. And then minus 7. So that's going to be 44. So you go ahead and pause it and see if you get the next couple of them right. Okay, so if we go back up here, I wanted you to try, I believe, number 3 on your own. So you can see I got 21 and 85. Pause it if you need to look at it more closely. Number 4, I got 19 and 38. You have to read the words carefully, but 12 is subtracted from. So this is going to have variables on both sides. The result is your equal sign. And we got 56 and 98. Okay, so we're going to go on to the back now. So now we have some money problems, or one money problem. Garrett has $1 less than 3 times as much money as Liz has. So since it talks about what Garrett has, then I always use the other thing as your x. So Liz is your x. And then it says Garrett has $1 less than 3 times as much. So there's $1 less than. And this is Garrett. I don't know if I spelled it right, but anyway. Together they have 179. So we have Liz plus Garrett's amount. So you go ahead and put your like terms together, and I'm going to add 1 right now. Divide by 4, and we get 45. So 45 represents how much Liz, who I didn't even spell her name right, has. And then we would put that in times 3 minus 1. Oh, we don't want to know how much Garrett has. So we found Liz is 45, so then we have to times by 3 minus 1. And so Garrett has $134. Okay, the Buffalo Bills scored 24, more than twice the number of points that the Miami Dolphins scored. So I'm going to do M for Miami will be your X. And then the Buffalo Bills, 24 more than twice. So 2X plus 24. And then you go ahead and put those together, and you have 3X plus 24 equals 66. And then 3x equals 42. And then divide by 3, and we get 14 for the, and then, yeah, we want both of them. So then we do 2 times 14 plus 24, and we get 52. Okay, number 8. There are 10 less red Skittles than orange Skittles. The orange Skittles are also twice the number of red Skittles. Find the number of red and orange Skittles in the bag. So if you read through it again, I'm going to use X equal orange. So I'm going to say my X equals orange. And then red is going to be 10 less red Skittles than orange. So X minus 10 is going to be my red. And so it says the orange Skittles are, so the orange Skittles are twice the number of red Skittles. Find the number of each one. So on this one, we're going to do the distributive property and get 2x minus 20 equals x. And then we're going to minus 2x on each side. So that gives us negative x equals negative 20. And then we have x equals 20 because we're going to divide by negative 1 on each side. So that would be 20 orange and then minus 10, so 10 red. Make sure you're practicing these on your homework. So then the other type of problem, second part, is perimeter of a rectangle. So the length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. So the width is going to be your plane X. And the length is going to be 6 more than its width. So X plus 6 equals the length. And we know for perimeter, we do 2 lengths plus 2 widths equals perimeter. Or you can add all 4 of them up, but you got to make sure you count for 4 sides. So if the perimeter is 24 inches, we're going to do 2 widths. So we're going to do 2 x's plus 2 widths. So 2, and since the width is like another quantity, we have to do times x plus 6 in parentheses. And now we have 2x, and then we just solve it. And then I'm going to do the distributive property. And then I'm going to put 4x together, and I'm going to minus 12. So I'm going to get x equals 3. So we have the width is 3, and then we do 3 plus 6 is the length is 9. Yes, Mr. E. Mr. E is interrupting my video. Did you want something?
After the video.
I'll pause it. Okay. After Mr. E interrupted us, I'm going to have you pause it and try to do 10 and 11 on your own, and then I will come back and show you mine. Okay, so number 10, you should have gotten 8 and 37. So take a look if you need to pause it to see what I wrote. And 11, you should have gotten 4 and 5. And we go on to the next page, and number 12 and 13 should be set up the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it again while you do it. Okay, and I just went ahead and put the answers in there. I showed you the equation, and I gave you the two answers. So hopefully that was enough. You can always ask if you don't understand how I got those. Okay, and the last type of word problems is called consecutive numbers. And consecutive means like one after another. So consecutive numbers would be like 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Okay, anytime they're just one after another. So like 3, 4, 5. Consecutive even numbers then would be like 8, 10, 12. Okay, that would be an example. Obviously, there's lots of options. Consecutive odd, 1, 3, 5. Okay, the way we would represent these then, for consecutive numbers, we would have x would be the first one because we don't know what it is yet. And then if the next one would be x plus 1 because it would be right after it. And then x plus 2. Okay, if we were trying to find consecutive even numbers, we would have your x for your first one. And then even, if you're counting by evens and odds, you're skip counting. Okay, so then it would be x plus 2 because it's not the one right after it, it's skip counting. And then x plus 4. And same thing with odd. So I'm just going to go like this. These little marks mean it's the same thing as right above it. So your skip counting, doesn't matter if it's even or odds. It would always be 2 after it and then 4 after it. So the sum of two consecutive numbers is 123. So the first one is x, and since they're just consecutive, it's x plus 1. So x plus 1 equals 123. And then you should be able to solve that, and you're going to get 61, and the other one is plus 1, so it's 62. Double check, make sure those add up to 123, and you are correct. Okay, the next one, you can pause it and do it right now before I am about to give you the answers, but you should be getting 42 and 43. So make sure you're able to get that. Okay, consecutive even numbers. So we have the first one is x, and since it's even, we're skip counting. So then the next one would be x plus 2. So we have x plus 2 equals 54. 2x, we're going to minus 2 is 52. So x is 26. And then we're going to add 2 to that because we're skip counting, they're evens. So those two numbers added up equal 54. Okay, the next one is the same setup, it's just odd. So 1 is x. Now some people get confused and think that we should put 1 here because it's odd, but you're still skip counting, so it's every other one. And then you should get the answer 63 and 65. So go ahead and solve it and make sure that's what you're getting. Okay, then we just take it a step further and we do 3 consecutive even numbers. So we have your x, and since it's even, we're skip counting. And the next one is going to be x plus 4. And then you just add all those together. So you have 3 x's plus 6 equals 138. And then you solve that, and you should get 17, add 2 more, or 4 from the x, and that's what you get. Okay, same thing when they're odd. So it's x plus 2, and x plus 4. So you have 3x plus 6 equals 57. And I think I gave you the wrong answers on that last one. I wonder if, I'm just seeing if anybody's awake out there. Sorry, I'm looking at my answer key so I don't have to do all the math in my head. So 18 should have been 44, 46, and 48. And then this one is the one that's 17, 19, and 21. Okay, now we're doing 3 consecutive numbers. So we're just going to have x plus 1 plus x plus 2 is 33 more than the smallest number. So the smallest number is x and 33 more. So now this is one where you're going to have variables on both sides, but you should already know how to solve that. So you have 3x plus 3 equals x plus 33. I would minus x on each side. So you get 2x plus 3 equals 33. And then when you solve it, you should get 15. And the other ones are 16 and 17. Add them up, make sure. Well, yeah, I guess you can't add them up because it's 33 more than the smallest. So, and then the last one we're going to do, and then you definitely need to make sure that you're practicing the homework with these. It says in cross country, the team score is determined by the place each individual runner finishes. For example, first place is 1 point, 16th is 16 points. In their latest meet, the boys cross country team scored 55 points. If there were 5 runners on the team and each runner finished one after another, so they were consecutive, what places did they each come in? So you have your first person, and then you have your x plus 1 is your second next person. We'll put a plus sign there. X plus 2, that's your third person. Here's your fourth person. Here's your fifth person. So we have 5 runners, yep. And then their scores were 55. So you add all those x's together and you get 5x. Add the numbers together, you get 10. And then you're going to minus 10. And then you're going to divide by 5. So the first place runner on their team was in 9th place. And then since they're all in order, it's 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Sounds like a good cross-country team. All right, so please make sure you're practicing these on your own.